Now, let's say the central bank is focused on inflation. Now, if the central bank is worried that the inflation is too high, then we know that they are heading towards an interest rate increase. Hence, the currency of that central bank will increase in value. Okay? So this is the main reason why we need to focus on the central bank. We need to know the focus of the central bank at all times. Okay? That way we can tailor our trading towards the focus of the central bank. Now, central banks will focus on a maximum of two things at once. And once we know what they're focusing on, we can then figure out what tools they will use and how it will affect the market. Now, most central banks really focus on one thing, and that's maintaining price stability. However, the US Federal Bank has two mandates. Okay, that is maintaining price stability and employment. So the US Federal Bank has to focus on employment and at the same time maintain price stability. Most other central banks mainly focus on price stability. Okay, so that's the difference between the US Federal Bank and most other central banks. Now, once we understand what the central bank is focusing on, we can then try to figure out what tools they'll use and how it will affect the market. For example, if the central bank is worried about inflation, if they think inflation is rising too rapidly, they will increase interest rates. And once the central bank increases interest rates, the currency of that central bank will increase. Okay? So if we know that the central bank is focusing on or is worried about the rapid increase in inflation, then we know that the central bank is likely to increase interest rates and we can plan our trades accordingly. If we know that that central bank is going to increase interest rates, then we will be looking to buy the currency of that central bank. And the opposite goes. If they're planning to decrease interest rate, then we're looking to sell the currency of that central bank. Okay, so always focus on the central bank. Whenever we get a news report, we should ask ourselves, how will this affect the central bank's view of inflation and the economy? Okay, so focus on the central banks.